What is the definition of a tow truck according to Section 148B of the Vehicle and Traffic Law? Answer: A motor vehicle that tows or carries a disabled, illegally parked, or abandoned motor vehicle or a motor vehicle involved in an accident. What license class is required if the GCWR of your tow truck and the towed vehicle is more than 26,000 pounds? Answer: Class A. What is the GVWR range for light-duty tow trucks? Answer: 8,600 to 10,000 pounds. Which type of tow truck is designed to transport 1 to 3 motor vehicles on a flat platform? Answer: Car carrier. What does the term overhang refer to in towing? Answer: The distance from the center of the lift point to the center of the rear axles of the tow truck. B. Equipment failure. What should you always maintain on the winch drum to prevent the cable from pulling loose and dropping the load? C. 3 to 5 wraps of cable. Which type of chain is recommended for overhead lifting? Alloy. What is the function of a snatch block in towing operations? Answer: To change the direction of the cable. What should you do if your tow truck's tire pressure is 5 to 10 pounds below the manufacturer's specifications? Answer: Immediately stop towing and inflate the tires to the proper pressure. What does the acronym STC stand for in towing? Answer: Safe towing capacity. What should you never exceed when using tow truck equipment? Answer: B. The manufacturer's working load limit. What type of vehicle is typically towed by light-duty tow trucks? Answer: E. Automobiles and small vans. How should a hook be positioned to minimize risk if it pulls loose? Answer: Pointing upward. Which type of tow truck is equipped with a wheel lift or underlift to tow an additional vehicle behind it? Answer: E. Car carrier. What type of chains are not recommended for towing? Answer: Proof coil, grade 30. What should be used to terminate a cable in towing operations? Answer: Swage end. Which device on a tow truck is used to support the trailing end of a towed vehicle? Answer: Dolly. What should you do if your tow truck exceeds its working load limit even once? Answer: Discard and replace the affected equipment. How is the gross axle weight rating, GAWR, determined? Answer: By the amount of weight a single axle or combination of axles is designed to carry. What is the primary use of a car carrier? Answer: To transport multiple motor vehicles on a flat platform. What is the primary purpose of a boom on a tow truck? Support the load and hold, extend, or lift a load free of the ground. What should be checked before using chains for towing? Answer: The chains are not twisted, knotted, distorted, or damaged. What is the function of the power takeoff, PTO, in a tow truck? Answer: Provide power to auxiliary equipment like winches. What is the main purpose of wheel lifts on tow trucks? Answer: Tow vehicles by lifting one end by the wheels. What should be used to check tire pressure on a tow truck? Answer: Tire gauge. What does a snatch block reduce in towing operations? Answer: Line tension. Which of the following is a correct description of medium-duty tow trucks? Answer: Tow trucks with a GVWR of 10,001 to 26,000 pounds. What type of vehicle is typically transported by heavy-duty tow trucks? Answer: Large buses, trucks, trailers, and heavy construction equipment. What is a primary characteristic of an alloy chain used in towing? Answer: It is very expensive and recommended for overhead lifting. What does the term working load limit, WLL, refer to? The maximum weight or load that equipment can bear under normal operating conditions. What should you use to inspect the condition of a tow truck's cable? Visual inspection for wear, frayed, distorted, or crushed wires. What is the main function of a drag winch on a tow truck? To pull the load directly to the ground. What should you always ensure when using a snatch block? It reduces line tension by half. What is the key factor to consider when selecting attachments for chains or cables? A. The color of the attachments. B. The working load limit of the attachments. C. The price of the attachments. The working load limit of the attachments. What is the correct procedure for inflating tow truck tires? Inflate the tires when they are cold. What should you do if a cable shows signs of damage during an inspection? Discard and replace the cable immediately. What type of winch power source is most commonly used on tow trucks? A. Hydraulic. B. Electric. A. Hydraulic. B. Electric. C. Solar. D. Manual. Answer A. Hydraulic. What is the function of the mast on a tow? Hydraulic. What is the function of the mast on a tow truck? To house the boom and winches. What is the correct to house the boom and winches? What is the correct term for the weight of a vehicle without any load or passengers? Curb weight. What type of tow truck has a GVWR of over 26,000 pounds? Heavy-duty tow truck. What should be done if a vehicle cannot be lifted by its drive wheels during towing? Use a dolly. What is the function of the hazard lights on a tow truck? Indicate the tow truck is engaged in a hazardous operation. What type of tow truck is equipped with a flat platform that slides or tilts to the ground? Car carrier. Which component on a tow truck transmits engine power to auxiliary equipment? Power takeoff, PTO. What should you do if a tow truck's tire capacity is not met? Inflate the tires to the proper pressure. What type of winch cable should be used to avoid damage and slippage? Tightly and evenly wound cable. What is the maximum weight a grade 70 transport chain can lift? 6,600 pounds. What is the purpose of a wheel lift? To lift one end of the towed vehicle by the wheels. What should you do if your tow truck is operating near its design capacity? Ensure the tires are properly inflated and meet manufacturer specifications. Which type of chain is identified by the number 43? High test. What is the correct method for checking the load capacity of a tow truck? By calculating the safe towing capacity, STC, using the FAW, WB, and OH. What is the role of the bed locks on a car carrier? To secure the load on the flat platform. What should be done if a chain cannot be identified by its grade? B. Discard and replace the chain immediately. What is the recommended minimum number of wraps of cable on the winch drum? 3 to 5. What is the purpose of a tow sling? To lift and tow vehicles with part of the load supported on rubber belts. What is the function of the hazard lights on a tow truck under the vehicle and traffic law? Display only when engaged in a hazardous operation. What is the primary use of a drag winch on a tow truck? To pull the load directly to the ground.